promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Today's teaching kills a lot of taboos, and it makes you individually to do your independent investigation of your own soul and nobody else's. And then the most funny part is that you're 20, you're 50, you're 80, you're 100. Soon the shackles of the fields of this planet will release you in the dimension of the soul of the man. Where are you going to be? And what are you carrying from this planet? More killing, more destruction, or the love of the Creator in the dimension of interaction with the fields of His universe? And would your soul create another mayhem of the fallacies of the prophets for the new generation of your soul to understand that they are connected to the Creator and they don't need no charlatans in the name of ayatollahs, mullahs, priests, rabbis, and the rest? We don't say anything. It's you who have to understand. Independent investigation of your own soul, your own knowledge, and how, if now you understand there is no intermediary between you and the Creator, how you access the knowledge of the universe. Now you understand from the beginning what I tell you. We are the universal teachers and not prophets. Position of the universal teacher is far beyond, above a prophet. A prophet is there to make a prophet. Teachers are there to give abundantly unconditional. How many times you went into the classroom with the university and the teacher shared his knowledge with you and he said, pay me for it? How many times you gone to school and every time teacher told you something, said, pay me for it? Teaching is the freedom of the knowledge and the beauty of the Creator in understanding the totality, the needs of His created. Man does not need prophets. Man needs to understand the process of creation. And this is what it is. Next time, when you see a religious man put this in front of it and see how he reacts. You become antichrist, you're against Mehdi, and you're everything else because he cannot rob you anymore. Then the whole structure pivots on you and the strength of your own understanding of your own creation. And then if you understood this, you understand transmutation is the beauty of understanding the totality of the creation. Now, it has to be easy for you as knowledge seekers to see the structure of the creation. But unfortunately, on this planet, you have to live. You create something to keep your physicality busy, a job, something else, and the rest of it. Till your soul gathers enough energy that it has a value to connect itself independently to the Creator. That is the day of judgment. When your soul judges itself, I'm there to reflect the beauty of the Creator in me, that I can create more, that enjoy that beauty of understanding. Soul of the man which is tainted with killing will not go that far. Now you have to understand. Man and a woman. Soul and the soul of physicality. Creator and the man. Does not change what name you put on it. The two have to be in tune. The two have to be accepting each other's. Then it leads to creation of new direction, new life, new understanding, in creating new dimensions with it. In the ask yourself a simple question, and I'll repeat it until you understand. Did man needed prophets and magic to be connected to the atmosphere of this planet to create rain? Did man needed magic to be connected to the rays of the sun? Did our sun needed magic to be connected to its central position of galaxy? Were there any prophet connected to any of these? Now, why that man needs abuser to connect it to what connected all these together and led to the creation of all these? If you do not need a prophet to receive the rays of sun, why do you need a prophet to receive the rays of the creator of the sun? Unless you allow yourself to abuse. Now you understand how close the teaching of today is with the intro which you listened, which was recorded years ago from the same teacher. This is why we are called universal teachers, because we understand the creation of the universe and we are not abusers. This is why Keshe Foundation has no temples, because it's not the religion. Religion means abuser. And those who abuse, they humiliate you. They abuse you for you not to understand, but they laugh at themselves. How easily we can abuse this. One day I'll give you an example how they abuse man through his lack of understanding. And now you understand how you've been abused. I have tested, because I always said, to understand the man, we have to understand everything about the man. We come to these situations like Earth, and we become teachers, but you cannot become a teacher when you don't know. You want just to bring something from outside and enforce it. You have to understand what's the culture, how you can transfer the knowledge to that culture that is acceptable to. This is why we taught for 13 years, 12 years, 20 years, and now we put the truth on the table. Because we have to understand the man. It's taken us thousands of years to bring the man to understand his stupidity with the name of the prophets, that now he can see the truth, because man chose to go the wrong way.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the 639th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of ongoing workshops continuously for over 12 years now. And once again, we have Mr. Right on Time, Mehran Keshe, here to present today's program. Please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. We're coming back to the same point again and again, but elaborating more and more on the same topic. We have been digging into the knowledge of the creation. We've been digging into knowledge of cosmic rays, how the fields come together, and how everything is done. As we are trying to understand more about the whole cycle of creation, the most important part is one factor, nothing else. As I explained once to some children in a classroom, magnetic fields, cosmic rays, is like being on a motorway on a high-speed road. Cars come and go. There's no interaction. Nobody knows who's in the car, what it is. If you're a doctor, if you're a laborer, if you're a dancer, if you're a president, nobody knows. The car just goes. There's no identity. The identity comes, and people who's in it and what they are when you open a service station, when you pull them in. You attract them in, and they stop. When they stop, the car is green, the car is blue, there's a doctor in it, there is an engineer in it, and then they start talking to each other, and you never know, something happens. They start a business, and so become the center. So without that service station, without that point of meeting, without that point of finding common ground to talk, it's like magnetic fields traveling across up and down the roads. Nobody knows what they are, who they are. In the terminology of traffic, we call it service stations, we call it tank stations, whatever, but it attracts. If you are on a very busy road, you attract many more cars. You build a restaurant, a cafe, and whatever, more and more people come because everyone has a neat connection to something of it. If you open just a little filling station, somebody stops, fills the tank, off we go. Because that's all needed in that area. This is the story of life in the universe. Fields travel the span of universe from one side to another. No need voting, no need to see anyone, there is nothing in common. Then you open a little common ground, you start a service station that they can come in, they found something to interact with each other, and then it grows up to a huge service station, and maybe other bits around it. It attracts and grows. In the terminology of the traffic, we call it service station. In the terminology of attracting together, we call it gravity. And that little station, which just attracted one because it suited that area, we call it inertia. There is no difference. Without point of attraction, without creating a common ground, nobody will gravitate to that point. And the more common grounds are brought in, the more traffic you attract. Initially, your two cars, they interact, other friends come in of the same school of thought, the same magnetic field strength, and then it becomes bigger. A little soul left Earth, finds a common ground where it can attract others in a field of strength, become a little meteorite, it becomes a little sun, then becomes a little galaxy, and then it grows, attracting more and more. It's the same with the Earth. The Earth has and brings the fields together, but it cannot show itself because it lacks is a gravitational. It gets everybody gravitated, but doesn't get people to talk to each other. You put a table and a chair, and people sit and talk. On planetary system, you put in the inertia. Gravity on its own cannot create inertia, cannot give itself manifestation. But inertia, because it creates a local condition of whoever likes me to come in, creates all of the same, become all sands of the desert. Inertia creates the oceans, water drops. Inertia collects mines, become gold, and the rest of it. In the terminology of life, we call it the soul. That's the planet. In the terminology of life, we call it inertia, which is the spirit. The soul of physicality, because inertia is what gives it the physicality. Fields are there, they span the whole universe. Till they do not get in the position of the field, the strength of the environment, which can compromise the field strength of the center, the soul, the central field, they cannot manifest itself. The more composition created the center, the environment, field strength, gravitational, magnetic, cosmic ray inertia, then the soul, then the inertia manifests itself, because at some point clicks, it matches. On weaker states of cosmetic ray inertia, like Earth, you get a solid surface. On a higher order, you get a liquid surface, which is the surface of the sun. That inertia is the soul of physicality of it, interacting with the soul, manifests itself as the planet. Man chosen the wrong word, or man chosen too many words for the same process. The soul of the man and the spirit, the cosmic ray, magnetic field inertia, what we call gravity, and the inertia, which is the soul, which the interaction of the two gives the physicality of this planet. The interaction of the two gives the physicality of the man. And if you understand this simple process, then it's very easy. It's so easy that it shocks the man to his bone. If the soul of the Creator is that central, and then the soul of the man is that inertia, the interaction of the soul of the man and the soul of the Creator leads to creation of the universe. I made man in the image of myself, as in interacting with the soul of the man, I manifest myself. Then goes back to the intro. Does man need a prophet between his soul and his spirit? Do you need intermediaries? Or the connection of the soul of the man with the soul of his Creator leads to creation, manifestation of the beauty of the Creator, the Mitra. The soul of the man in respect to the soul of the Creator is the Mitra. The love of the two leads to creation of the universe. It's not the size which counts, it's the quality. And if mankind understands that, will know one thing: as the spirit is aware of all the shortcomings of what is happening in the physicality of the man and is connected to the soul of the man, so is the Creator aware of the shortcoming of the man and is connected to the soul of the Creator, and the soul of the man the same. You choose terminology to fool yourself, but the fact cannot be hidden. And when it becomes clear, people, they call you Antichrist, because now the door of abuse is closed. Then the knowledge of universe is open to the man. Go back to what I said so many times. There are no prophets, there are no churches and mosques anywhere in the universe except in the feeble mind of the man who's used to be abused on this planet. If any of you ever find a temple anywhere in the universe except on this planet, then you know these people have been fooled like you. Have not understood the process of the creation, have not understood the reality of the interaction of the fields. And these are the ones which sometimes you see cafes which bunch of drunken abusers gathered together because no man with the decency goes in. Man, you have reached that abusive station called Earth. Killing is normality, destroying is a function of the presidents, and destroying cultures and history of man is a proud thing to do unless you're a fool and blonde. No name, nowhere in the connection between the soul of the man and the soul of the creator is the term to destroy. As it's been said, what you're short of, you destroy because you cannot get to it. When you don't have culture, you destroy other cultures to show your lack of understanding and feeble mind. Nowhere in the system of the life of the man, the spirit of the man destroys the soul of the man, and together destroy their own physicality. Except the point when the physicality can be abused to the others. Now you might understand more how mankind has to find its way through the transmutation, to transmute between the soul of the creator and the soul of the man which had the privilege to create that man. And then the knowledge of the universe is abundant to all. You don't need to go to schools. You understand the essence. You understand the beauty of it. But as you see the planetary systems, the stars and the galaxies are there, rotating, creating conditions to be there because they enjoy the presence of existence. So should the man on this planet enjoy the presence of existence, give life, create joy, and be abundant to be there for the others. As you know, you're connected to the soul of creators, and what is your wish becomes your command, as is given to you through the connection of the soul. And because you're so feeble in understanding your own creation, you call it magic, you call it whatever, except accepting the beauty of yourself. Now you understand when we say, my wish is my command, because my command is so beautiful, which wants the beauty of the others and not me, and in that process I shine with them, not I am owner of them, not I'm in control of them. Then you understand how the word goes, that if you want to test the heat of the fire, you test it with gold. And if you want to test a man, you give him gold and you see his behavior. The gold is not the physical gold, it's understanding his standing with his own creator, which is the gold. And the fire is the physical life on this planet to test the man how hot he can get, to tempt the man to disown his own creator. Now you understand more about your own strength. And now you understand what the teaching of transmutation means. Is not to take you from one place to another. It's to take you to the soul of your creator. And if up to now you thought, oh, I want to manifest myself from London to New York, then you understand you still have shortcomings in understanding the totality. We did not bring the knowledge of transmutation for you to get an apple and go through the worms of the wormhole, but we brought you the knowledge of transmutation to give man the opportunity to transmute between his soul and the soul of his creator. Then the knowledge of the universe will be all apparent to him because he is connected to the knowledge which is gained, maintained, and possessed by the Creator. Now you understand why there are no mosques and no schools in the universe. Once you understand through your soul, you have access to knowledge of creation through the connection between the fields of your soul and the soul of Creator. And if you find an excuse for it to say no on that, it shows it means you're not matured yet. Please walk in the path of the fields for billions of years to come till you mature to understanding of the truth. Now you understand the true meaning of transmutation. We are not giving you energy donkey. We are teaching you access to the direct position of your soul, of your Creator. And as you have to understand how. If you are happy to see this and that and go from God knows one apple to an orange in one part of the world or the universe, you're still on the donkey of the life of the man. And if you understood the true meaning of the transmutation, then you understand the beauty of the knowledge you have access to. Unless you enjoy the abuse, as the Creator is not abuser and is the teacher of all. Then you understand why we use the terminology of the transmutation. Not to take you to places, but to connect you to the soul of the Creator that opens the knowledge of the universe. In a way, we give you the book. If you are happy to sit on the donkey, that's your problem. The book is still sitting on the shelf. The soul of the Creator with all knowledge of the creation is accessible by every created things in the universe through their soul, through the central magnetic field energy of the life. And made man in the image of myself. But man was so stupid that he painted himself to mischievous acts of the physicality to confirm his existence. The Creator does not kill to confirm his existence. He gives, he loves, he expands and creates more. As he said, I made man to create children that they may love me. He still needs to receive love to confirm his existence that is beautiful, is omnipotent, and he is possessor of all, and is made man in the image of himself, so is the man. Now you understand the term of inertia, gravity, service station, petrol station, the soul of the man, and the spirit, and the soul of the Creator. We have shown you a fast track on the motorway of your own life, your fields which is within you, to your Creator. If you find an excuse to delay the time of the meeting, that's your fault, not us. I can take you to the water, but I cannot force you to drink. You're the same horse. It's you who allow the other to get on the saddle on your back and ride you to where they want to benefit themselves, and not you to enjoy the meadows of beauties of the creation through your own understanding. Today's teaching is short, but right on the dot, if you understood. And if you haven't understood, graze in the field of the universe till one day the collection of the fields of your creation will come to understand the teaching of today. We go for a short break and we come back, and I hope you found your soul, your spirit, your gravity, your inertia, and how you were programmed to transmute, where we give you the reality of life to be to what you pray to be with. We go for a short break and we come back.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Okay, short but intense, and we will have a short break, as Mr. Keshe said here. And when we return, we'll have an opportunity for questions. Our attendees here in the Zoom can raise their virtual hands, and then we can allow your microphone to open if you would like to speak. And if you would like to put a question, you can put them either in the Q&A or in the webinar chat here in Zoom, or in the chat in YouTube as well. Okay, we will be back shortly. Okay, back again at the 639th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. And as mentioned, because it's the second part, there will be an opportunity for questions. But before we engage into that, we'll have Mr. Keshe pronounce any announcements or other things you would like to say. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Strangely enough, we keep on talking, saying it a couple of times. Today is 23rd of July, 23rd of April. This day has a significant, or has a huge significance in my private life. 23rd of April has brought many joys, has brought many sorrows, but somehow this day pivots on a lot of things, changes the course of my life, and has brought a lot of joys and sorrows and a lot of things. Is one of probably most significant days in my life after my birthday. And it's strange how 23rd changes things in my life, especially 23rd of April. One day, mankind will understand the significance of this day and how even the course of humanity changed because of this day. It's amazing. One day I'll explain. We made an announcement that Today we'll show you the agricultural products, and our team past few minutes before we go on the air inform me that we are not ready. Can you delay it by 1 week? We're getting everything done professionally. We have all the costs and everything else, and please bear with us till we do it properly, because the new team does not like to do things half cooked. So you can do your agricultural purchasing next week. We are very expensive, but we taste good. In respect to the cash coin, those of you who are going to use cash coin, you're connected through the games or whatever, start registering as fast as you can and get as many as people as you know to register through the game for CC and CK, cash coin for the games, and cash coin for the what we call universal use. Our systems regarding ONNs are 90% in position. The what we call facilities and everything else is set up that we can start with, and the team in the background will start doing all is necessary. We just got one phase to load up the ONNs because I needed a lot of things, very simple, but a lot of facilities, and this was completed this week. We are getting the handover from the computer lines and everything else. Hopefully we're told next week. Then our team can start testing and running the first series that hopefully, if it can be done completed before end of the month, we start putting the first series out. It looks very simple. It's taken months to organize it. It's taken weeks and days to actually get the rooms and the facilities and those who understand connecting all the lines to internet and the rest of it. We are hoping with the present situation to distribute the first 10,000 units within the next 12 months. We are in a financial position, sorting out things that we need. We receive more support and we need more support, and we try to do it by the Keshe Foundation itself. And hopefully this involves millions of dollars, and our resources will be there with the help of you knowledge seekers to be able to break the back of the present situation. As I explained to people who are influential and governmental people who understand how the cash coin will change things, has brought interest by a number of governments to us. And we need to, as fast as possible, to get as many ONNs and these units around the world into the streamline of the work, that with it, with the support of the 4 and possible 6 governments we are talking to, break the blockage on international banking, which means no currency is more powerful and nobody needs to fight to make the currency more powerful to dominate, because all nations become one in access, in use. And hopefully sometime in the next few weeks, the first distribution of the cash coins to national citizens and governments will start. It's taken a long road, it's taken a long time, but unification of the currency through international transaction without a need for SWIFT, without a need for any government to be dominated by the others, but all are equal, is just around the corner. Few weeks, few days. But if our negotiation completes with the 4 initial governments in the next few weeks, the governments will exchange currency in their own local term using the cash coin as a currency of payment. We are working to bring cash coin as a currency of exchange in a nation Once that's established, it might take a few months, it might take a couple of years. Then, as a nationals dealing with the internationals, Cashcoin will stay as a €1,000 balance 21st of March 2026. That it kills the game of inflation. A glass of water, a tomato today uses the same energy in 20 years' time. Why do you need to increase its value to cripple the others to have? The use of cash coin brings a stability to every greed of the man, and it's just about to hit the ground. Please help us to purchase as many as we want to transfer it across the world and not to one or few nations. This allows us to bring the operation in a way that no nation can close. I've been given a gift this week by another 100 units, and these units will go to every corner of this planet. You're in Africa, we support you. You are in South America, we support you. It becomes an income, not just for you, but it brings a change internationally to break the back of the wars we see today for which currency is going to be the dominated currency. This is one currency, one nation, one race, one planet. And you are the cornerstones of it. If you are in anywhere in the world and you have people who can benefit by it, we have the units, we're being gifted the units. We have several hundred units which are there as a gift from your people, people who supported us. They have paid for the units, and once it comes to operation, these will be distributed to those who need or they see a need for a change. Do not use them to replenish your families and make them rich. You see them as a point which stops the domination and abuse of the mankind. We are there to support, we are there to help, and the process has started. When I looked at the unit set up this week, I was sending pictures that is all set, ready to go. Once we get the licenses in position early next week and all the connections, the first 23 units will be loaded. Very few of you will receive one connected to your internet, and then we start testing for a few weeks, and then the mass production. Once all the teething is sorted, we have brought a couple of experts in the background to help us to set the things up in a, what you call it, supporting way. And then you will see how the process will go. I thank you, all of you who are helping us. There is one point, and the running structure and the support of the ONN has pushed us to establish a new company in a new country only as a teaching and support. So you will see a column in the Keshe Foundation in the next few days on the store. It says support and teaching. This is for ONN support. There's a package of €5,000 each. Anybody will be supported across this. In the totality, we have positioned this in a new country where we see centralized for our work, and then you can just buy packages of, and then this will be used for supporting, teaching, and everything else across the Keshe Foundation as is needed, till our 1% currency exchange for CC to say KC allows us to do. Recruiting the experts to run these things costs a lot of money, and those who are involved with us to understand what it is. And with wages to be paid, they have families to look after, and it's our responsibility to do this till the structure is set the way we work. I thank you, those of you helping us. Please don't think we are waiting till we get our ONNs and get our coins. You will receive it now. It's done. It's settled. And it's amazing how long it has taken us to get what box you see on the picture to what is needed it to be able to mass program it. the system to mass program now is completed in the past couple of days. It was handed over to us, and now we can do up to about, I think about between 300 and 500 a day units to load up once all the, what you call, the teething problem of the system is over. And we set to cover by 2027 the 10,000 units which we need to make it, as our people say, millions of people to use it, and then we have to expand it to as much as possible that allows billions of people to have access to use it daily on all the time basis. If you have any questions, let us know, and we try not to answer it if it's the best way to do it. If you have any questions, let me know.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Let me see, I'll remind our attendees here that there is a button for raising your virtual hand if you do have a verbal question, and then we can open your microphone. We have a number of questions in the Q&A. Let's start with, I don't know the name, it's in, I believe, looks to be Chinese. The meaning of the infinite cosmic cycle, is it to create a sense of presence?
I don't know what it means. What do you mean by infinite cycle?
Infinite cosmic cycle. Well, perhaps the meaning of the universe and the meaning of life is to create a sense of presence.
Let me explain it as I've done this before. Everything started with one ray. And its limitation and its pull back on itself and interacting with itself has created the dimension of the creation. What this means is that starting with the ray, it's like, children have this ball which has an elastic at the end. It's like a balloon and it has elastic at the end. And they push it out, it goes as far as it can, it comes back to the hand and it pushes it out again. That ring in the center where you hold is the center of the creation. That ball at the end is as much as that ray can go before it's not strong enough to go further back, then it gets pulled back to the center. But if you take the ball out of or balloon out of the equation and look at the line where this balloon goes back and forth, you'll see this line keep on crossing each other. Goes to the back to the boundary and back and boundary and back and crosses the line of the last time, the time before. And this is how the universe was created. You have what we call magnetical, which the balloon goes out. You have gravitational, which pulls at the point that it cannot go any further back to itself. And then you push the ball back out again. And they call it elastic soft balloon. Come on, get one and stop putting on your finger and run around, up your head, down on the ground in all direction, and trace every single line. This is how the universe was created, from one ray. And going to a limit it can go, returning back to itself, getting pulled back because it cannot elasticize anymore, which is called magnetical, then gets back pulled by gravitational, and then at the same time keep on rotating on a circle on the same spot. You become the God, you become the creator, and push the balloon. That becomes the cosmic rays, and see where they will cross more that dot gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes galaxies and stars and the rest of it. And if any of your knowledge seekers can go to a shop and buy one of these balloons which children play with elastic on and make a video and trace it, we all see how the universe was created. You are the God in the center. It's one balloon and one string. And it can go as far as it can. I put this to my professors, and I put this to you after some 50 years, 40 years. If you answer this, you answered the question to the creation. It's the story of the chicken and egg. Did the chicken come first or the egg? Now, did the magnetic fields come first to go out, or gravitational fields which pull the fields back in? If it was gravitation, it cannot go anywhere because it already stuck to you. And if it's magnetical first, it's gone somebody never could come back. So the question of chicken and egg for you knowledge seekers is, which field was created first? The magnetical or gravitational? And if you answer this one, you can answer, most probably have found the solution to the chicken and egg. This is scientific terminology of the same dilemma. Where there, the chicken is the point, where in the other case, the creator is the point. Which one created first? Which one was created first? And what did the creator decided to push the balloon out to see how far it goes? As he himself could go and see what was there with the balloon bin. So, if you answer that question, then you have answered the whole process of the creation. But the biggest question is, where did the man come from to have a balloon on his finger? They become the pusher of the balloon. And that is, where did that creator come from to be in the center to release the first ray? To be magnetical, or did it pull it gravitational within itself that it became creation within it? Which means we are inside of the creator. It's just what position we move within. This is a bigger dilemma. I've seen my professors scratching their head. I'm sure many people will scratch everything they have to find an answer for this. Don't ask AI because he has no God. He doesn't understand the creation. Maybe there's a Chinese computer scientist because they created it. Any other question?
Well, this same person has an additional question. Can souls be destroyed into nothingness by certain entities?
Look at your soul and look at what they call red wolf and white dwarf and whatever. When the star explodes, is anything, nothing left of it, or fragments of it become part of nothing else? There is no nothingness, because when the white dwarf is created, it expands. When whatever contracts, the fragments of it start a new cycle of galaxies and everything else. So Hubert told you that one, and got you by, as we call it, short and careless in English. Once created, especially once manifested in dimension of energy and matter, it can never be destroyed. It just takes different shapes colors and sounds, but still all are in the spectrum of the magnetic field. So is the conservation of the fields. It's just different manifestation than a point of the observer. Depends what you observe, that's your point. You might see it as a flash, that one see it as a parcel, and the other one gets it as a noise, but it's all the same entity. That noise of the explosion leaves expression in you, creates emotion, and emotion becomes a reaction, and then you move with it, and you create a kinetic energy and carries on and on and on. The fragment hits something, creates a condition, and the rest of it. So, the conservation of energy applies directly to conservation of fields and energies. So, nothing ever be destroyed. Take a different shape in different sizes or different dimension. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. From Cristiano, it's actually a question from Edie, or Edie, from the Brazilian community, who says, "Hi, Mr. Keshe. Why did the Creator or God put stomachs in all living beings on Earth? If we can live with the magnetic fields, did God create a useless invention?"
Oh, the most useless thing is the lung. Why God gave you the lung? Why God gave you a stomach? And if you have a position, a question with the stomach, why do you have your other bits in your body? In the process of creation, you have absorption, you have a digestion, you process it, you change it, you call it a volcanic eruption, you spew it out, get it back in, convert it to energy, melt it, and do the same. Unfortunately, man cannot do that. So the structure of the physiology has decided on a very simple system. You decided to eat the matter, not the energy, so I have to give you a system to be able to digest that matter you put in your mouth, otherwise it kills you. Stomach is to dissolve it in a way. Intestine is to, once it's dissolved, I can take what I need from it, and the end is I get rid of what I don't want. I need a system to run this system, lubricate it, get it going. I created the heart. I needed to get what it was in the solid state as a liquid to get out the waste. I gave it the kidney to clean it out. I don't throw everything out. I keep what I need. And then I work so hard to get this thing processed. I need a storage somewhere. I created the liver. But what was all the purpose of this? If I've done all this job without actually benefit by it, I can create another one. Just 1 second, please. And then, what's the purpose of all this if I cannot keep on producing it? I give you your ovaries and testicles and the rest of it. So you see how human body was put together. Conservation of energies and a conservation of a purpose. And all this needed a control, so they don't do things on their own. I put a brain on it. I call it the brain of the man, or central control. But there's a problem with this planet. A lot of energy flies around. I better make a use of it. I call it the lung. So, is there a need for intestine? But if you are another creature in the universe that travels the span of the universe, there's no monkey suit called the spacesuit, like what we saw actually this week. Last week was amazing what we saw with the fake flag of a spacesuit. with, again, the lies of the American technology, then you don't need the lung because you absorb the energy through your skin or your body. The lung is more or less very unique to certain races in the universe, like man, which they decide to absorb free absorption of energy as what you call air. Every part of the universe where you go, creatures adapt to what is available to get maximum use of the energy of the environment. Fish does it with the eel, man does it with the lung, and other creatures like trees don't have a lung but facilitate something to use the environment. Life is opportunistic cycle. It's literally like a footballer that has nothing and suddenly become a hero because the opportunity came to make him to live, to stand out. And exactly, there is no difference between a footballer and the life of man or life in the universe. Opportunistic. Use the opportunities to create condition of confirmation of existence of the creator. That's all it is. So look at the guy from planet Zeus. Has no lung, has no stomach because his body can absorb energy through his skin, and he's got the generator called the soul absorbs what he needs. He's got the generator called the spirit, which chops it up to what is needed, and then it manifests itself. Oh, there's a planet. I don't have a motor. I use legs and to move around. So we see different creatures of the universe created, exist according to the environment they've been created and needed for them to exist. So is there a need for a stomach? In the condition of the planetary system, yes. Our planetary system. Because we decided to kill, so we need to digest what we kill. It's not just fun killing and just walking away, is it? We had to taste it. And this is what we're trying to stop when you go to the planet Zeus. They're not need to eat. Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. We had a question from Paul. To begin our Q&A here, actually, who says, thank you for all the important training sessions. My question, as far as I can tell, a great many people have too much aluminum in their bodies. Can plasma technology be used to extract or remove the aluminum from the body?
It's not aluminum. You American called aluminum. Never understood why. So I think it started with the Irish people, Northern Ireland people call it aluminum, and they took it with them to America. But it's microplastic and other things. We see a huge increase in Alzheimer's. And we're looking for a reason, but we forgot how we created it. Alzheimer's in the new generation, if they live a life which does not touch more or less aluminum foils and aluminum pots and aluminum takeaway pots, which you get in a scraper to get the last grain of rice out of the bottom of the pot or the aluminum takeaway they gave you, will be the future of the future Alzheimer's, but the present Alzheimer's, a huge part of it. All of us in our 50s and 60s and 70s, majority of it goes back to our advanced technology fuel. If you remember, it used to be lead added to the fuel, and we all inhaled it. We are always looking for aftermath and finding a solution, but we don't see exactly what created it. Majority of us, generation of 50 plus, 40 plus, our Alzheimer's present and the future goes back to use of lead in the in the fuel. That's why we see a huge increase. They try to blame everything else except, guys, we used to have an exhaust pipe in our mouth. Walking down the street, the bus passed, the truck passed, the car passed, till was nearly early 2000, which became illegal. We have inhaled it, and we have absorbed it, we have deposited it, and to my research, 90% of the present Alzheimer's, and we see more and more of it because that age is coming to the later age, comes from the lead, not the aluminium. But the new generation is poisoned with aluminium. All these fancy cooking in the oven, have you put aluminium foil on it? I'm gonna go for a takeaway and it's an aluminium foil of it, and nowadays it's become fashionable to cook in aluminium pots. And now we added the nano coat, what we call Teflon coating, which is again cornerstone of the cancers. So we missed the point. Next generation will have aluminium Alzheimer's, yes. Present generation, majority of the Alzheimer's comes from the lead we read on the streets when we walked and we run the fancy cities. We have bosses. Yes, we have poisons too. Nothing affects the emotional condition of the man than lead, and nothing disturbs the electrical circuit in the brain of the man than aluminium. We'll see a lot of cuckoos in the generation of 20 and 30s of today in the future. And God forbid they're supposed to live 200 years, this lot. This planet will be land of cuckoos. Do we have a system to get out of it? We are testing things. Aluminium it's not in a fluid, it's an energetic. And once you start moving it through the brain and through the body, it behaves like calcium, solidifies, and become cancer points. This is the problem with it. We looked at this research very deeply. We're still looking at it with one of our knowledge seekers in the background. We were talking yesterday. We're looking at the TFAS and the microplastic in the waters, see how much we're absorbing this and how much affects in the future the depth of the water we are. We have a water specialist, one of our knowledge seekers, one of our beautiful knowledge seekers who used to be with us in training. He's expert in the water. Very soon we call upon him to help us with this part and contamination of the water, and he has a huge vast knowledge with the depth of the water and different quality of water, different depth. We want to look at the, as a PFAS has penetration in different layers, different ways. Most probably we can look at the aluminium concentration, but what is a microplastic interaction in the body of the waters of this planet? And something we just started. Our knowledge is in the background, trying to start the process, and then it goes on the back of forward with the Italian government, if you remember. And some of you see some of the data of it. Now we would like to run a deep research in the effect of it, and aluminium is another one. How much of these scraping the bottom of the pots and the aluminium foils you digest, and how much of it you reject, and how much of it goes into the what we call the recycling plants, and how much of it they feed into the water, and how much aluminium in micro level or nano level is in our fishes and the waters we drink. It's not so easy. Aluminium is one of the worst things with us we see, and this is one of the reasons we banned use of aluminium, lead, anywhere with the gas production. the future generation will suffer heavily with all these takeaway in aluminum business. The previous generation we see now was with the lead in the fuels. We all inhale so happily running down the road marathon, and we go for a run. Yes, increase the exhaust of the absorption of the lead in our lungs. I said once I would like to collect marathon runners or people who do running and jogging every day, and they did in 50s and today, and see what's the difference in the what we call behavior and the strength of memories. And how much is it increased the lung capacity, because it reduces the absorption of, and it creates an emotional condition. I became aware of this years and years ago when I used to work in Almaty in Kazakhstan. And I saw a young boy of 27 dying because of it from Europe in Almaty. And it brought me a lot of investigation at that time, why and how. And a lot of it came out to ground level that with to do with heavy metals, and increases the size of the lung, and they find every other excuses except actually what sets in the body to go. And we have to analyze our environment, where now they just give you a tablet to find a way to bypass it. But what did we created and what we have created, which is affecting us now. And aluminum is one of the main contributors to a lot of diseases. Keep away from aluminum in what you digest, and I think you stand a very good chance of at least being a little bit safer till the next thing called non-stick pens hits you, and then the next thing is plastic water bottles which hits you, and then the next and the next and the next. Now we are bombarded with composition of new materials, which usually one of them would have taken at least 10-20 generations for the body to go through evolution to adapt to it. But so many of them getting thrown at us at one time that the evolution cycle needs to speed up, or we see all the problems as cancers and others which are coming to us. We created this ourselves. They say healthy eating. I think the only supplement, leave this planet as fast as you can, that you don't consume any of the what I call created things with it. God help our grandchildren. Our children are already contaminated. Any other question? Hello, Rick. Are you still on this planet?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I turned my mic off accidentally there. Thank you for that. Looking at the questions, we do have a hand up here from Irmgard. Would you like to go ahead, please? Let's take that first.
Yes. I on a daily basis, I question myself whether the organic foods that I buy, as soon as they're heat sealed in plastic, if they're no longer organic or if they're no longer free of potential toxins. I mean, every time you heat seal everything, you saturate it with plastic.
At the moment, it's part of our life. You have no other way to transport. It's become. I was looking at this a few weeks ago. You know, in Europe, you have these huge transparent plastic bags that is for plastic. And then you have a bag for the cardboard, and then we have a bag for waste, and then we have a bag for metals, and then we have a bag for glass. The fastest one, which is, I think it must be about the 50-liter one, is the plastic one which gets filled up. If you notice, wrapping, packaging, And it's crazy.
Yeah, I
How?
know. I have noticed that, like in our trash, we compost everything that can be composted. We don't buy anything we don't want, and most of what is in our trash is plastic wrap.
So somehow, because we looked at it as an exam microplastic in our blood and whatever, we are packaging microplastics. Even our clothing is plastic. So what do you expect? But there's one good thing with the plastic. Even they talk about microplastics. Most of the plastics are CH bonds, carbon and hydrogen. And our body knows a way of using this energy. It's not all bad news. Depends on how. I see a lot of people saying, oh, we found so much microplastic in our blood and it's gone up. It's good for advertising, but look at it scientifically. Every time we received a lot of hydrogen with a carbon connection, we became more intelligent. Is the intelligence of man something to do with microplastics we've been digesting? Free energy is actually like eating food. That's why we breathe, to get hydrogen in, to get energy. If our body is clever enough to, the way we digest with acids in our stomach, the combination of the food to become utilized in our intestine, is our body converting or learning a way of creating conditions somewhere that without us knowing is breaking up this plastic bond? It needs to be in nano. It's not all bad news. We do it in nanotechnology. We do it in advanced technology. We give you a CH3 for plants and whatever. Some of you use it for different application. Isn't it microplastic in the content of sugar? So there is a possibility that our body uses this as this free energy. Because nanoparticles, when you see it in the blood, it's okay, like iron, but it's in a ganser state. And in a ganser state, hydrogen is an energy deliverer. Is it why some of our children are becoming so intelligent? Is it the reason why some of us are becoming taller? Is it the reason, instead of using cosmic ray as a field, we are using the energy of the nanoplastics we are absorbing? If we had a metal attached to it, yes, we had a concern. But I don't look at the nanoparticles. They tell us we have so much nanoplastic in our body as a bad thing. Because we did the research, we tried to see how we can remove it. But why do you need to remove when it's free energy? Can we energize it for our body to use it? Can we find a technology within the plasma technology which makes a free food? We don't need to kill anymore. There we are. From now on, we give you a different taste of nanoplastic and it breaks in your body. This is what we do in our lung. We breathe CO2. We separate it. We breathe oxygen. We breathe nitrogen. We breathe hydrogen in the air. We separate it. We break the sugars in our body to hydrogen and carbon to get the energy of it. We have a free energy in our body called nanoplastic. It's a free food. So, would our body develop a new digestion system for plastic free energy? Would we go through that evolution? Then we don't need to eat because then we just get plastics. I looked at this very seriously as a scientific point of view. We're crying with our bodies full of plastics and nanoplastics, but we pay to eat sugar. We pay to buy food. We are now paying to add hydrogen to drinking water. There are new systems, energized water with hydrogen. How come in the water is good, but when it's absorbed in our body, it's not good? We have to find a solution, and I'm seriously looking at this, that making like a organ in the body that is like a watch you wear, whatever blood passes with the what do you call microplastic in it, will change the plastic into energy, and that is your food. Your watch becomes your feeder. Don't go out and start chewing plastic, but there's enough of it that replacing cosmic rays is a pure energy. It's a fantastic source of food.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's some comfort. Yes.
I know, but we have. I'm a logical physicist, a nuclear physicist. I look at the microstructure, and I look at how things happen. I don't accept all the things people put out. Why? What's the reason? In a very short time, we're running a very specific test for cancer. And it rotates around this knowledge. The only way we get cancer is when we get the calcium solidified. Becomes bone, becomes that beautiful thing you women love to have, a pearl. That's all it is. Your cancer is a pearl. It's a calcium in the center, which starts putting layer and layer on it, and then you call it a cancer. But it's actually, dig into it, find its seed is a pearl. But that pearl cannot calcify without hydrogen, and cannot connect without the carbon. But if you increase the energy of the hydrogen, the carbon cannot coagulate, cannot come together. Is the secret in a cancer energize hydrogen, but in a specific way? And we are putting this into trial in the next few weeks. We actually discussed it with doctors yesterday.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's not all bad, but they give it to you to be bad, but there is some bad things in it, but we have to find how our body reacts to it. And okay, nanoplastics, yes, it's in our body. If it coagulates, it creates problem. If we can use it like what we do with the gases, that you separate, we break up the chain of C and H in the blood, that is a free energy. And you know, if the connection line of carbon works perfectly in separation, it'll take the CO2 out of your system as an energy better than what you call it, any of your organs. Why do you throw away free energy when it's in the system, but you have to find a way to use it? And the combination of the CEST and gases is a research which I already launched some time ago, but we have to understand it more. And as I said, coincidentally, yesterday I was talking with one of our knowledge skills. He's on the line, they know who they are, to evaluate the microplastics in the waters, because we drink most of it through the water. But can we add something to change that microplastic separation of the carbon and hydrogen to energy source, a food, free food? Then we don't need to kill because we don't feel hungry. Maybe it's a salvation for us, that plastic. But we have to understand more. It was funny, I was sitting with some knowledge skills yesterday in a cafe. And it's a very funny cafe. I've been there a couple of times. I go there because it isn't pirates the way it is. It's a very simple place. all painted white. It's a coffee shop. And as a lot of you know, I'm a coffee crazy somewhere. And we were sitting there, and it's only black and white. And on one wall, above a drawn-up settee as you're sitting on it, is a chemical composition and chemistry. You have a CH, blah, 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 of coffee or caffeine. And it has two CH3 arms. I looked at it and I said, oh God, I never looked at it that way. No wonder coffee does so much. Carbon and hydrogen, microplastic for double hydrogen. And then you have a two strength of nitrogen, and you have this carbon and oxygen bond on it. And I thought, what happened if I put plastic in there instead of CH bond? What would that do? Free energy. The minute we involve carbon in its color range is when we create problem. When we don't use carbon in the color range, it can be used for everybody. If you don't understand what I mean by color range, most of the colorings you have in your foods today comes from coal, from carbon. Depends what bandwidth they use, it becomes the color of your food. Nothing is natural, it's all carbon. But when you play that with the carbon, it links up to different kind of energy in the cell and makes like children hyperactive, and the rest of it, coloring is the cause of it, because it's a carbon-hydrogen connection with the color in your food. And this is the reason. And this is one of the problems. And they are trying to find natural coloring that they take these colorings out of the food. Like the beetles, whatever they use, there is a huge research going in Scotland. It's a company now become a public company, what do you call it, uses seaweed for a blue color. I think they're going into the stock market. And there's a number of ways, if you find natural ways and don't use carbon as a coloring. Carbon collection in the plastic is fantastic. It's a source of energy, but our body hasn't had time to evolve to create an organ like a stomach for conversion of the plastic. Free food. And you're looking into it to change it. Yes?
Yeah. So you say we adapt to these things. What about all this electromagnetic stuff? I find that it makes me less concentrated.
This is another point. Depends on what field the strength body does to us. This has been a long research for us. We use magnetic fields now for a specific condition to create. What frequency, what conversion. You see, the minute you put a frequency, you put matter conversion on it. And that's the problem. Does that matter conversion interact with any of our body? Does it resonate with us? And this is the problem with it.
Because when I, right now it's the middle of the night here. So if I listen to my phone in the middle of the night and I forgot to turn it off, the next morning I'm totally zonked.
Hey, zombie. No, depends how you connect to them and what they disturb in your psychological pattern. This is the problem with these phones. The worst thing to do is to keep a phone in the bedroom. The worst thing to do, keep any phone, tablets, or anything in the vicinity where you sleep. People think, oh, my phone is on the side of the bed. I have a rule, no electronics in the bedroom. Because they interact, they keep your head busy. I noticed that some 40 years ago. And unless I fall asleep or whatever, I make sure I don't sleep. But when I want to sleep, amazing enough, I just put the phone next to me and I put the knowledge seekers on and sleep for 2 hours exactly. I use it in different way. But I don't feel refreshed. It's just that I need to sleep. And it has this advantage, but by law, no electronics should be around you because they connect to you. I noticed this about 40 years ago. Many children wake up before we hear the ring of the phone. Between 3 to 5 seconds before your phone rings, if you have a baby in the room, see they move. And I noticed that with my children, I made it a law. It's the way it stays. If they receive it before we do, so it does affect our brain. It interacts with us somewhere. Unless I'm in public place, something is hidden, I don't want to discuss in public. If you've been with me anywhere, I never put a headphone against a telephone next to my ear. I have nothing to hide. The phone is open. I discuss openly. And they all say, oh, nobody needs to know what you do. I said, nothing to do. It's for my health. It's not you close your ears. So keep the phones out of the environment. And especially when you sleep, unless you deliberately do it.
Yeah, and even with the game, sometimes I just feel a great aversion to sitting in front of a computer. I'd rather be outside in the sun.
Go outside. The we create our own prisons. And that's what it is. Game, cold, and everything.
Go outside instead.
You go outside, take a walk, and come back when you need, when you think. My eyes need practicing. I have a rule. I have no television in the house. Wherever I move, there is hardly any television. If it's there when I go in, I don't touch it. I don't watch television for years because it's nothing but source of problem.
That's for sure.
And if you live like I used to live in China, you don't want a television in your bedroom. You don't want a television anywhere near you. I sat in Beijing in front of these larger screens, and I noticed a little dot. I put a sticker of Keshe Foundation, KF SSI, on that dot. The dot moved. I put another dot. Next day, dot was somewhere else. After a few days, the whole bottom of the television was KF SSI stickers. I went to investigate. They watch you through hidden cameras, through the pixels at the bottom of the TV.
Probably the phone too.
The phone. Oh, you have a phone, you haven't blocked it. You're always well known how you look, how you wash, and wherever else you've been with your phone. If you see our phones usually carries infinity loop. Our systems all carry infinity loops, and the cameras are blocked with the stickers. Especially units, you can buy a back camera. You have a unit now. It's got a curtain. You flops it. They come in at any time. All our phones, laptops, computers, all are blocked. Especially if you give phone to your children, block the camera. There are new stickers out you can buy and stick on the camera. It's like a window, you pull it, or you buy the little stickers which is on it. We have different systems for different phones because some of the new phones, these things, plastics you put on it, doesn't allow it or it comes off. We are forever in the cycle of changing the stickers or whatever.
And they tell us that these days the modems do the same thing, and you can't even get away because all your neighbors have them, and follow you in every room. They can see you behind walls.
Oh, those are different things, but these mobile phones we carry, we tell people how we are. Especially if you have a mobile phone with the children, block the camera.
Mhm.
There are programs you can go in. I can go to certain programs and watch what you're doing. It's literally you do on a video call, they open your video call. That's all it is. Nothing secret. You know, you make a video call conference of the voice call, your video call is still on if your camera is on. It's just that you don't want to see it. It works, the lens is unoperational. Especially girls. If you have young girls in the house, show them what is done, what it can do. We do it on the clock, and the girls take the God knows these telephones everywhere possible, in the shower, in the in toilets, in God knows with their boyfriend. Somebody's in there, you're tracked. This has benefits, but you have to protect yourself. Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
Okay, we have an interesting question with Chung here, who says, could you guide me on how to train infants a few months to interact with basic GANs or cup of GANs through sight or touch and contact, etc., so that they can have a foundation to become space workers in the future?
First of all, do you cover the environment with toys which have certain factors of gases in it? You've seen these resin products. You've seen we put little dolls. You do it yourself. Make sure they don't digest. They can transfer energy, but they don't digest it. And they go for it. We tested these with animals. We put water containers on for the dogs and cats and put water and against water. 99% the animals go for the water with the gas in it. We have started a process of mass agriculture of fish growth, where we will actually, I was told the fishes are already in the tank. The process started, and I will do something complete in the next few weeks. We don't feed any food to the fish. There is no outside food. If the fish dies, we interfere. But the animals, the fish, will be only fed through space technology. We have a lot of experiences. If you remember, with our beautiful guy in Africa, we did the swimming pool, if you remember, some of you. We are repeating this process in a technicality with a fish. This process, the pool is already there, everything is done, they fill up the water, whatever is going on, till we actually start the process. The fish will only receive energy through the cosmic ray process. We want to see psychologically how they behave. Do they survive? Or because every glop of air or water they take in, mechanism of the GANS technology is within them. And you know, when the fish runs out of air, comes to the surface, so we know in the surface we have the amino acid. We want to see what kind of fish we have. This is a huge structure. It's not a small fishbowl. One day we will show it to you. It's, I think, 3 meters by 20 meters or 4 or 5 meters by 20, 30 meters, is in one of our sites, where even the environment is fed with gases. And we want to see how a fish behaves. We have a huge experience we carried out in Africa. When you go to buy a fish and you see the eye sticks out, this fish has a psychological problem. Is being born in captivity and with eyes popping out, is not happy with his environment. The minute we change the environment to a comfortable environment, the eyes goes back in. You see cut on the back of the tail, where just the tail comes up, you see a niche. Again, he wants to cut his tail off because he doesn't want to live. We, as you know, 20, 30 years of experience, it all comes, we are observing all of it is in that process, and we are watching it. And we are growing these fishes and see how fast they grow to the die of hunger, or knowing that we are feeding them through the energy process in the water, would they grow faster? Can we reduce the cycle from 2 years to 1 year, to 6 months, to 15 months? We have started a process of, in the next few weeks, with growing things in the dark, using the technology. By growing mushrooms in the dark, would they change the environment? Children are the same. Create an environment that they don't need to touch anything, but they are in an environment which is energy, emotionally, connection-wise balanced. We did a test in Italy some years ago, and we had an extensively autistic child, done by one of beautiful knowledge seekers, and I adore her work with us. She made facilities for us in Italy, and we put specific gases in the pill of the child. The child don't like a helmet, nothing else. And the child, after a few weeks, has never spoken, 11 years, not a word, goes to daddy, says, can we go for a bike ride? Dad, can you take me out? We didn't do anything, we just changed the environment. He must be around 20 by now, the boy. And I remember the joy in the mother's face, 11-year-old, first time asking her father, and you should see the joy in the father. My son speaks. We have an effect, but this goes down to research. How far, how we, but we done this pillow situation with the autistic child in Belgium 2 years ago, and the boy being in the handicapped school through the process, within 6 months went to normal school with no signs of a handicap. He was actually in the handicapped school, and I met the parents in February, and I knew what technology can do. No interference, creating the environment. I said to them, you have to enroll him in the proper school for September. They looked at me, he's crazy. I remember the uncle looked at me, Mr. Keshe, you're giving them the wrong hope. I said, I know my technology. The uncle was our, what do you call it? IT guy. He controlled all our servers and everything else. That's why he brought his sister's son, because he was too autistic backwards. He called him, and he actually went. He was in a wheelchair, came off the wheelchair. He went to school in September. He sat for an exam to go to a normal school, and he passed that. And he started going swimming because he loved swimming from a wheelchair months before. Is this coincidental? Is this one-off? We have to extend it. But if you don't need to consume gases or gas touch. Change of environment works more, especially with youngsters. You all remember during the corona, we entered with one of our beautiful knowledge seekers in Iran, in the 100 children in orphanage. None of them got corona. They were all pampers. The pamper reduced by so much, I think about down to 10-20% usage, dropped by 80%, and the children start reading, just changing the environment with the energy of gases. And yes, but you have to create, it brings changes. We've seen the changes. But now it's, thanks God, we are setting up these research areas in a vast operation. This can be one-off, but you have to, in a large number, watch the behavior, watch the growth, and you see it. We know children brought up around the families with cancers are intellectually much higher intellect. I come across a lot of them. Families, fathers and mothers who have been using gas in the house for over a decade now. Some of them, we see the children, they stand out. You put a child which is brought up in a family with this kind of technologies, with a normal one, to use a normal child, but compare it with others, you see amazing amount of difference. Intelligence, kindness, they're so kind, so observant. And yes, it does. But it's just changing. Mom makes, I know a couple of mothers says, she gets a cold, cancer's on the table. I get an infection, cancer's on the table. And the children come and ask. Many of you knowledge seekers who have families, young families, and you've been around this, the wife opposes or the husband opposes as you're a criminal, but they come and ask for a guns. Can I use that thingy? But you don't believe in it, why do you use it? It just does sometimes help, coincidentally. But you see it, you know, we walk, we move around, we see a lot of families, we see a lot of people. And families, even the grandparents use ganses and the children curse them. And they come and say, is there any guns we can use for this or that? And you see children of the families now becoming second generation, extremely intelligent. I watch them and I enjoy them. I said, do they know what I've done to them? Hang it around the house. Put it in the on the carpet, put it in the toys, anywhere. We created these things, ornaments for these kind of things. Yes, it does. But do not go directly to touch them with it. Create an environment that they live in it. And you see the difference. They usually most of them are very happy children. Extremely happy. I see the Gans families, I call them, because I see quite a number of them in different countries. Children are interactive. Children are open. Children are very happy. I call them Gans generation. They are heard. You can't quieten them. They got an extra gear energy somewhere. You go around with the houses with the children with ganses in it. It's a noisy family. I don't know why it's so much, but it's a love family. It's one of the, I do a lot of psychological evaluation in how the things are with the people, whatever. These families are happy families. Even the mother could be as worse as anything, or the father, because doesn't want to do what the mother does or the father does. You see change in the family, you see change in the children. It's there. And we are testing with some doctors the behavior of mothers, especially postnatal conditions. Just leave it around the house and you see how you save a family. They don't need to come in touch, they need to live within it. It does. I've seen the effect of it on children. And sometimes we can't reach the children. We don't know why. We have cases that progress is not there. It's our fault. We have to find out. And we endeavor to develop technologies to reach what we don't understand. Well, I've seen GANS families, quite a lot of them. And you sit back and watch happy children, very talkative, very interactive. They have no fear. Most of them they trust everything. I don't know why. But family psychology, I've been studying the ones who use ganses, or one of them, Mehran Tavakoli produces ganses in the house. And it's amazing. The husband comes and says, "Can I have some of that thingy? I have some headache, or I need something." And he says, "You don't believe in it? It doesn't matter. I just need it." And I always say, "That's it. All you need to do. But don't use it direct. Create an environment. Hang toys which they don't put in their mouth, like like little stars or whatever with ganses. Yes, use majority on a zinc which interacts with the emotion, and use a CO2 with all of them with amino acid when you put it, and keep it out of their reach, but create an environment. You'll see the difference. I've seen. You hear them from miles sometimes. And the mother told me, "This is the effect of cancer, Mr. Keshe." I said, "Are you not happy?" He says, "She's joyful." That's all the child needs to be. Any other question?
Stefania had a relevant question. Would you put the energy of CH3 around the house, as they need a lot of sugars and proteins to have the energy to give to the brain to learn to walk and speak?
It's all sorts. It's all. You see, I have a logic. Maybe it's the wrong logic. Maybe it's the right logic. The technology has answer for every condition. It's us who has to find it. And body of the man is a spectrum of energy. Maybe the GANs you produce is not at the strength that the body needs, and says, "Oh, it doesn't work." If you find the right energy, right GANs, it does work. We're testing this now in our agriculture. I deliberately done that. It's a massive operation, and I took a risk, and we wait for the result. It can create a new cycle. It can create a new structure. It can create a new product, but it's selection. The whole purpose is selection. And if we don't see cross energy transfer, but we see a specific allocated transfer, then it proves a lot of things to us, that the body takes what it needs, and we should be there, should not be there. In a way, you cannot give a fertilizer to, let's say, celery as what you give to a banana. They don't go. They have different needs. But can you create an environment that everybody takes what they need? We are in that process. It's a heavy test. I was looking at the workers in it this morning in a video. It's gorgeous what is coming up, but we have to wait for the end product. I had a video from one of our beautiful knowledge seekers today. He was there, and it's amazing what Keshe Foundation has achieved and what is on the process. And we have to test these things. We're creating a condition, everybody takes what they need, and this is a massive thousands of square meters trial, and we see. I'm observing the workers. How do the workers who are in this environment behaving? psychological pattern. And then next step is you knowledge because when you see the products, how does it feel to eat it? How emotion does it bring to the house? Not just because you know it's got gas in it. Observe the family. You're using the products, which is entirely, totally produced through the new plasma technology. Then we see.
Okay, Mr. Keshe, maybe you could address, we'll see if Brett, are you available to discuss? I'll allow you to talk there. Are you available to discuss your amino acid paper?
Yeah, sure. But it's not really super important. Do you have a copy of it?
Yes, just let me get that up here. Okay, should be able to see it now.
So this is a paper that I wrote. It should be 2 pages, is that correct?
Yes, we can see page 1 and page 2.
Okay. So as far as I see, this has been my work for years to get to this. I need all of everything in the right-hand column to be free of pesticides. Otherwise, I'm going to hurt myself. Do you remember this, Mr. Keshe, at all?
No, but I don't understand. What is this exactly?
It's a map of amino acids in the negative and the positive that allows you to create a total structure of amino acids in the positive
What
and the
kind
negative.
of amino acid are we talking about?
Food-based.
Uh-huh.
So we're looking at it's very difficult for me to see, but essentially what I've done is I've taken all of the structures of the amino acid, and if you look in the left-hand column, you see the basic structures. In the middle column, you see what they benefit. In the right-hand column, you see what they are made of.
Where do you get it
So,
from?
where did I get it from?
No, I mean, in the right column is where you can get these amino acids. That's what you refer to.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you see on the right column, you say you can get this
Oh, yeah, from that.
beef,
Yeah,
chicken, or whatever. Yeah. Okay, carry
yeah.
on.
So, essentially, I want to build. I've got a 4-sided maggrav. I'm going to turn it into a 6-sided maggrav. I need everything in plant-based on the right-hand side to complete my experiment.
You want to produce amino acids with this effects.
Yes.
Oh, this we done.
I know that you've done it.
We know how to process all amino acids, but it's not done this way.
Okay, but my approach is to use a 6-sided maggrav, to use all of these things all weighed out in their respective importance and put it around a 6-sided maggrav where you can use to concentrate those particular energies.
Doesn't work that way.
Am I going insane, or I'm not heading down the right way?
No, it doesn't go that way.
Okay.
First of all, you have to consider a lot of things, and fundamentally what it used, where, and how. You cannot put
I can't hear anything you're saying.
you cannot put what is for the eye in the section where there is a foot. Need that for your heart or what, something else. This has to be understood selectively and applied, especially if you deal with amino acids. Amino acids are the basis of genetic modification. And when you go into the energy, you create that modification. Some of these amino acids are not available in the nature, are created in the body through the digestion system or enzymes. And they are not in the form that you see it here. Okay, this asparagine comes from peanut, blah, 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 but it's not in a peanut. When you eat a peanut or whatever, in interaction with the digestion system, it creates this. In the normal, some of these in the normal nature don't exist. And especially when it comes to amino acid, you have to understand the depth of purpose, the depth of use, the depth of change, alteration in the body. Otherwise it causes problems. And because it's not as part of the natural process which the body is used to, body behaves different to it. The game of GANs is not just doing it because I want to reach, is understanding what is reached where. This is important. You see this, you can find it in chicken, but actually chicken might not produce it. When whatever flash meat amino acid of the chicken interacts with the enzymes of stomach and interaction with the pancreas, triggers that amino acid of that. This is the problem with our lives at the moment. Generality has brought misunderstanding. You have put as your first amino acid, yeah? You say it is good for muscles, amino system, and then you say it can be found in beef, chicken, and the rest. To normal people, you sound very professional. To a scientific analyzation, it's all rubbish. Because when you put muscle building, when you put beef and chicken, and you put that amino acid, my body is not the same as yours, and my body doesn't produce that specifically through chicken for that muscle. Or it uses a spectrum that the chicken, which is free range, gives it to you. But chicken is not free range, it's not. And you just eat as much chicken as you like and say, I have a problem with my muscle building and the rest of it. You have to understand the physiology, you have to understand the chemistry, you have to understand the interaction of a digestion system in an energy system, not in a solid chicken business. Let me explain to you exactly what I mean. You go buy a chicken, and you're happy you had chicken, it's good for your muscle. It only contains amino 6 or omega-3 6. Not omega-3. It went into captivity. It changed itself to survive. You are eating a survival mood oil, not intellectual mood code. You move from omega-3 to omega-6 and you're happier. Then you go back and eat an egg. You eat egg, which is given specific food, only covers a spectrum of energy, and you're happy eating 2 eggs. You go and buy a free-range egg. Or because it's not in a cage and it walks on the ground, which is a cage. Then you say 2 eggs a day gives you all this and that. It's all rubbish. If you eat an egg and you want to be strengthened, strong, whatever, that egg must have gone through a process of life, ready for life, not just being there to be alive. If you buy, I always said, if you buy chicken, egg, free range, ask one question. Go to a village and buy. Does the egg have a rooster with it? A farm without the rooster egg is as good as a cardboard box compared to what you're expecting. What does a chicken do when it lays eggs? Comes out, what does it do the first thing? I want the rooster, come, I need for your energy. When that sperm of the egg enters the side of the yolk, sitting there, it's not just there, you see it as a maybe red blob when you open the egg, but the whole process of the chicken has changed. Egg is not egg, an egg is a energy bomb. You go and buy a lamb and you buy a sheep. A lamb, we go to North Wales. I lived in that area, I worked in that area, I studied this to every single bit of it. You get a lamb which has 2, you get a sheep which has 2 lambs. One lamb you slaughter before ever had an interaction with a male. The other one you keep to have a baby with it for the next generation. The lamb which is never had a baby, taste, smells totally different than the other half which went through the process. Biologically they change. By eating a lamb, you know, you go to a butcher shop and they sell you a lamb, but it's actually a sheep. The color changes, the style takes different texture. One is more pinkish soft, one is more reddish, and it's the same, came from the same mother. It's the same with the egg. You have an egg with a rooster and have an egg without the rooster, free range in the garden. It's totally different egg. Totally different. One has gone through process of amino acid generation for life because it's received the sperm. One is there hanging around. It's a cardboard compared to what you want from an egg with a rooster. You feel different. The energy is different. The observation, the concentration is all different. Do it with the children, you see it. I tell you this so exactly, and I tell you, I used to run a massive tens of thousands chicken run. Chicken farm. I owned it, I didn't observe it. I didn't talk to somebody. I was observing how would I give what I do. I kept chicken in the house without the rooster. I had chicken with a rooster. Studied the change. You gave the chicken with the rooster, egg with the rooster in the house. Watch your children. They are amazing. The observation, the concentration. They don't knick-knack. They don't come after sweetie, can I have this and that. The approach is different. You give the chicken in the house, free range, you pick an egg up and you give to the children. There is good nutrition-wise. We have become, it's like the map of the world. You see the map of the world. If you, especially nowadays, you see a lot of it, Iran, and they put this little country. You put, God knows, 4 or 5 of European countries, France, England, God knows, Belgium and everything, into Iran, you still got surplus land. But psychologically, it means it's a small place, we can do it. That's why you can't touch it. And these kind of things, when you do, study it, and then find the right bandwidth, right field strength, the reason for it. You get an American chicken breast, and you get a European chicken breast. Different color. You in America watch it with claw, and it's a waste of time, throw it in the bin. In Europe, we get the chicken. It's delicious to eat. You expect to get amino acid and you write chicken for your muscles, or you get source of cancer. You do different thing. And when you do for this and you get results, ask why. What has it changed? I pay a little bit more. I can't afford it, but I pay a little bit more, but I get what I need to get out of it. You have 2 eggs a day or 10 eggs a week from the supermarket. Just read in the European market, I'm sure in America, our eggs are numbered. When you go to buy egg, every egg has to have a number. If it starts with a 0, it means it's not in the cage. Doesn't mean it's a free range. They have a code for eggs which are fertilized. You don't see it in most of the supermarket. One, it tells you in captivity within a free box, whatever, and you see the numbers of the first digit explains to you what it is, the egg in Europe. But none of them tell you if it's a free range with a rooster. You want the effect you're talking about there? Yes. It's like the Jewish tradition on a Friday. You have Sabbath dinner. You Jewish guys don't go to supermarket to buy meat or chicken the way you buy for the same night. The Jewish guys buy the meat from a Jewish shop, which is slaughtered a Jewish way. But most of the time, if you're in the areas, grown locally in a free park, in a free range. And it's generation of, it's not a free egg range. Then the egg has an omega-3, and the eggs you buy has omega-6. Waste of time. And then if you speak, I remember my grandmother telling me, we used to go on a Friday afternoon, or we used to go to aunt's on the Saturday, the Shabbat table set. They kept the soup, the oil of the soup on the top was kept for a whole week. If anybody has a cold, it was a cure. Yes, because those chickens that time had omega-3. They are cure, they're medicine. You boil a chicken for 2 hours, you see a drop of fat on top of it you bought from the supermarket. Just observe. Then when you make these charts and you say it doesn't work because you don't understand why it doesn't work. You buy the chicken, but your chicken is in America most probably bleached. Go on internet and look at the difference between chickens. In Europe, we don't allow American products like chicken, meat. They have to be free. They bleach everything. They contaminate all your goods, and you're eating a carp, but you're happy. In Europe, we are not allowed. They don't allow us to come in. In China, it's the same. In most of the part of the world are not allowed. In Europe, we use New Zealand lamb. You don't even know what lamb is in America. It's free. It's clean. You don't, if you buy your chickens, change your chickens from America into European chicken or Chinese chicken, get your pumpkin seed pod, which is more grown in Europe, you see some of the results you're looking for sits there. Not all of it, but to extent. We are setting up a lab to check all our products as they grow in the Keshe Foundation structure. Costing hundreds of thousands of dollars running these labs. Setting it up to confirm we are. To keep to what we do. It happened this morning. I just keep on because I work 24 hours. There are a lot of things happen every day. This morning we received a video from our agricultural side. The clever people thinking whatever, as I said, one of our specialists from outside China is with us, immediately saw, he said they're using this and it's illegal against Keshe Foundation rules. What they did without telling us, they put a hidden drop somewhere to increase the growth. And I said, cut out straight away. The test is gone, it's no. Everything has to be cut out. Because we control what we do, and I asked all the flowers of these plants to be destroyed by this afternoon. Because some clever dick somewhere thought, okay, we just do, nobody knows. We were suspecting something happened. We had a confirmation from one of our expert knowledge seekers, who's a visitor. And in the labs, we would see it. And then what happens? The name comes out, Keshe Foundation is supposed to be a cosmic ray, and one person deliberately or whatever contaminated our product. We see it in the lab immediately. So when you do these things, when you put this amino acid for this chicken, if you eat chicken from where? How is it grown? And then you'll see the result if you have the right chicken. You put there, this amino acid gives you this lentil. Do you know what this amino acid in the lentil does to you? If you eat lentils, which are biological lentils, no chemicals used, not the ones you buy in the shop, look for bio. And get a mixture of these lentils, could be chickpeas, kidney beans, whatever, split green peas, and eat them as a food once a day, let's say for your lunch, a bowl of it. You lose fat in a drastic way, controlled way. You lose all fatty lumps around your organs, because this lentil, without amino acid, has the synthesization to change combination. Why do you don't eat, let's say, just chickpeas? When you say lentils, you take a spectrum of 3 or 4 lentils together when you cook. So you create a spectrum of proteins. And all those proteins have a connection to this amino acid. Meet all the needs. That's how vegetarians live. You don't eat for 24 hours. This, especially when you mix the lentils in the right way, give you all the protein, all the minerals, everything else. You don't need to eat anything else. And you don't feel hungry. Do you know how I know? I lost 25 kilos because of this, through this method. You get American lentils grown in America with all the fertilizers in it, you get cancer. Because that amino acid lumps up with the chemicals. You have to understand and find the correct sources to be able to do. These things you see here, it gives you brain break. Yes, if you would have used the correct product. You want to live a healthy life, leave United States, move to other countries. At least you're 50% better. All European, all the nations have banned a lot of products from United States because especially meat is cardboard. You better eat cardboard than eat American meat, chicken or whatever. It's easier. At least you don't give yourself diseases. Doesn't work. You keep on saying, I want to find a solution. My first solution to you, leave your country. If you're in America, North America, just move outside. You find all your behavior, everything changes. And then set up systems to work. It doesn't work. You live in the wrong place, wrong products, and your country doesn't allow good products to come in because people find out what the rubbish you are given to eat. Or grow your chickens outside. Grow your cow. Grow your own vegetables. You are in control of. Then you can start using this and that, and you say, I'm trying to find. Sorry, you live in the wrong part of the world. These amino acids, the sources they come from, are written, work correctly when you understand how you have to combine them, when you understand how they are grown, what they're grown with, and the way they're grown. In the next few weeks, you'll see Keshe Foundation will put out tea leaves. These tea leaves we control. You buy, oh, it's expensive. Yes, but it's correctly the way the plant was grown to be. Next week, we put out, for example, lettuces. Yes, the plant is grown, at least first cycle is not fully GANs, but process part of it till it goes fully GANs. It carries what it's supposed to deliver. And you know something, you buy a head of lettuce for $1, you think it's expensive? A kilo of lettuce from Keshe Foundation product is around about 12-15 euro. It's not cheap. And secondly, we are not selling it to be cheap. In the industry, support the research. But what you get, you should see when I walk into the plant and you give the lettuce, so they just, a full back disappears in the hand of people. They just keep on eating it. It's so delicious. It's so amazing. They just give me, every time I go to the research center, they give me a bag. By the time I get somewhere, it's already finished. 2 lettuces, 150 grams in less than a minute. It costs $2. It's worth it. Because we set to change. We understand the need to change. And mass production to feed the hungry has created these new conditions. You'll see next week. You get hand on one of the lettuces produced by us. If you don't ask for the second package, there is something wrong. It says, I give you everything you need, eat me. Not because it's Keshe Foundation. Read what it says. It's even moisture controlled in the bag when they put it in, the freshness of it. They say in English, you get what you pay for. But in America, you pay a lot and you get nothing. That's the problem. Move out or buy your products from outside the United States. You'll see a lot of effects you're looking for. The same amino acid, but the combination. And you have to understand how you mix this. When you mix chicken breast with lentils or you beef with lentils, you get the amino acid of the animal and the vegetable together. And if they are natural, and you control your source, we have become ignorant to our own source of supply. If you spend a little bit of more attention, if you spend a little bit of time to source where we get things from, it'll make a huge difference in our own behavior, even life. I buy meat twice a year, but the farm I buy from, the farmer eats it, and everybody knows what's on that farm. No chemicals, nothing, no additives. The farmer cuts it itself. I pay a little bit more, but the meat doesn't discolor. You don't have any rubbish foam you see in the normal agricultural goods you buy in the shops. The same I do with the chicken. I buy chicken twice a year, 3 times a year, but from the source, I know. And I get the same taste, quality as I used to get 50 years ago when I was with my mother. We allow us to be abused and we see what happens to it. Or we don't. We live in an apartment, we can't do everything ourselves, but we can decide what we source from next time. Then you see the benefit what you're looking. These charts are beautiful, but written on the basis of 40 years ago, not today's chain store food. And not the combination. To get that amino acid you got in there, you have to mix to get the full benefit of it, the beef with the lentil. But which lentil? American soybeans are good for the cows, even the cows go sick. Humans should not touch it. Any other question?
Just going to get Brett to comment on that, but he's seems to have disappeared just in the last minute here, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, no, it's just our
he's back again.
knowledge. People have to have the knowledge.
Brett, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, look, I've for some unknown reason, my internet seems to be stable, but I've been dropping in and out like
Your
precious
government
time.
doesn't want you to know the truth.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to watch it again just to even hear what you said. But in truth and reality, I see everything on the right-hand side that has to be made organically. I
It's
know
not
what
organic. Let me explain to you something very, very interesting. This is from research point of view.
Okay.
When we produce materials, yeah, especially in our research, is going through the process in the next second, third generation. If, let's say, I have a fertilizer in the seed, yeah, when I put it through the GANs, if the the power of the seed increases and gives a better harvest, yeah, the fertilizer chemicals are in there as well. It just doesn't happen to the seed, it happens to the chemicals too.
Yes.
This is your problem. You produce gases, you put on the maghrab, which is contaminated with pesticide and everything else. How do you expect to benefit by it?
You don't allow anything to come into contact with it.
It was on it when you bought it. It's in it. Your pumpkin has been grown with the fertilizers.
Yes, I know.
So you got your answer. You're
You have to grow it
contaminating
yourself.
you're contaminating yourself with your pumpkin on your maghrab with the chemicals in it.
I know. That's why I need everything in the right hand column to be totally organic.
No,
There
it's not
can't be
organic. You see,
anything.
no, I
But
tell you
not
something.
organic,
No,
but
no, no.
without any traces of
Yes, but you don't get it
pesticides
all.
or
You don't get it all straight and colored green the way you see it in the package. You get crooked carrots and
yes, of
burnt
course.
things with a different color because it's not homogeneously controlled. You know, every day, thousands of tons of carrots and potatoes are dumped in the sea by EU because they're not all straight. In EU, you cannot buy carrots with a twist and bend on them. It's illegal. Did you know that? They dump it in the ocean every day.
No.
Yep. No cucumber can be slightly bent. You don't see a
Just
bent
ridiculous.
cucumbers in European
Just
supermarkets. It's
ridiculous.
illegal. It's illegal. You go to major supermarkets in this country, you see all the carrots, all the cucumbers, they're all straight. What happened to it in nature? I don't get it. I cultivate cucumbers, 9 of them are bent, 1 of them is straight. Unless genetically modified, unless the good ones have been thrown away.
I think I'm going to lose you again for some God.
Listen to it afterwards. We have to say, this is the beauty, this is what we have a video from our research centers. It's one of the most advanced research centers, even in China.
But I'm losing you.
Yeah. One of our research centers is one of the most, it's Keshe Foundation Research Center. It's one of the most advanced, and we are making it more advanced, we're adding more things to it, space level research centers. And our aim is in the next 2 years in this facility to produce seeds, products, which are totally grown second, third generation with GANs technology, with cosmic ray technology, that from it we can produce nutritions that we can put on the apps that when you ask for example, apple, which is from connected to the Keshe Foundation structure system, you get apple with no additives, pure. Takes time. It is one of the most advanced space level greenhouses even in China. The Chinese universities have an eye on it. It's Keshe Foundation Research Center. And some of the lettuces and other things you purchase from next week come from these centers. I haven't wasted a single cent of the Keshe Foundation. We invested it. And you will see our space technology. You will see the changes we're bringing. But the generation, the next generation, 2 years, 3 years, when you see the label of KF on it, it means as pure as he was born thousands of years ago. Because we are in a position to do so. We don't call it bio. When you see it next week, you see it's this cosmic ray product. But it says what? It says on the label. You receive the rays of universe. You receive the way it should be. Then, do we need magras? Do we need medicines and everything else? And this is the ultimate goal, what we are setting up with what we are doing. And then on an app, when I give you an apple, there is no chemicals. You receive pure what an apple do, the energy, the feel, the emotion, without killing, without destroying. It's not something we are going to do. If our team is just, they want to do a beautiful promotion for it next week, you will see it today. It's to change takes time, but what we do now, it was what we were planning to do in 2020, if you remember when we got defrauded. It took us 5 years to reassemble, get things together, and now we're sitting on one of the most advanced research centers in the world. And we have every nation owned under the banner of Keshe Foundation. You'll see it. We don't release anything not to create, especially with the knowledge seekers which we kicked out and they come to take revenge out of their animosity, but the correct way that it should have been done, and it's done. You have a beautiful management, they work very hard, and we have a team, and as I said, a team of knowledge seekers which are coming and going and advising us, teaching the workers how to work. We move into the space very soon. We move into energy very soon, in the next few weeks. And then you will see. The KF logo will be what you can trust, believe in, unless we get contaminated from outside delivered. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. Let me see here. We have from Raphael, there was a question regarding Einstein. He says, if the assumption of Einstein was false and gravity doesn't bend space around the sun, how was the observation of stars behind the sun in the observation of the solar eclipse of 1919 come together?
You have to redefine. You have to understand. Light is a magnetic field. If the light can reflect, light can be bent. Depends what we don't explain, what we never understood, what energy. Everything is made of magnetic fields. The glass is a magnetic field. And mercury is a magnetic field combination. What energy, what combination of interaction of energy is in this material, mercury and the glass, can reflect light. So if we understand this, we know light can be bent, doesn't need gravity. Then Einstein is in the bin. They put you in a position because they don't understand, they don't see it to let you to see the truth. You put two mirrors against each other and see how many reflections. How does it happen? Isn't it light? Isn't it energy? Or this we ignore. We look at the others because we want to make a idiotic assumption that makes us famous. Always go back to the root. You cannot bend the light. Rubbish. How come it bends with a mixture of mercury and glass? How come you see your own reflection? Aren't you light? This is ignorant nonsense. Jewish people who brought us so much harm in science that we believed in them. Ask yourself a simple question. You cannot bend the light. How come you reflect the light? How come you see yourself in the mirror? Every magnetic field of light is bendable. You can change its color. Now you see how we allowed, again, the way they're destroying our nations, believe in their rubbish talk. I wish if world of science one day decide to raise Einstein's name from every part of the world of physics, man will go beyond imagination. One idiot has caused so much problem in the world of science. Ask yourself one question. Simple. Every day you look into it. Unless you deny your own existence and what you see because you gave your brain to another idiot. You can't bend the light. How come? A mirror does. A mixture of fields, energy-wise, can bend. This is what happened in the universe. This is how galaxies come. This is how light, sun rays in the boundary of the solar system reflect back. And just one idiot tells us, bends this and that, we have to accept. Use your common sense. Then you don't need gurus, you don't need religious people and the rest. Very simple. It's the same. I was in the session after years with Rick yesterday. It was a beautiful day. Thank you very much, Rick, letting me in. I explained, you keep on saying, Mr. Trump keeps on telling us, suddenly out of nowhere, 4 weeks we'll destroy Iran. And then we destroy the civilization. Do you know why Mr. Trump asked and begged for peace, stop the war? You Americans, do you know why? And now he says we extend it. He would not come back. We have 173 of your elite Delta Force hung to every Iranian structure that you're going to bomb. They are sitting in the nuclear power stations, in the Iran power stations. 173 of your elite force are in our hand. Do you know how they came? The lie they never told you. We set them up. The Iranian government set the Americans up and they walked into it like a lamb to the slaughterhouse. We left an airport empty near Iran nuclear center. We knew the Americans and Jewish people are very clever. They're going to go and steal the nuclear material. In the news, you saw 2 sea aircraft cargo carriers on the ground. They bombed it themselves. These aircraft carriers and 2 helicopters didn't come empty. They came with your elite forces to raid a highly protected nuclear center, the latest weapon technologies America had, with some 400 soldiers. They didn't come Hercules empty. They came full. What happened? Iranians waited for them to decide to come out. Then they came out. One got damaged because the land was soft and the other one couldn't do. And all the 400 soldiers on the ground. Then the Iranian went for them. And the Americans watched because the aircraft were damaged. They couldn't go. Ask yourself a simple question. Did these planes suddenly appear in Iran empty? But there is no runway because the crafts are crushed on the runway. They can't go anywhere. What happened to the soldiers? You have beamed me up a Scotty job with your soldiers? No, they're all captured. 300 dead bodies on the runway and in the planes. 2 days later, suddenly Mr. Trump decided to have peace, and he'll extend it to ever because we have 170 plus another 200 American soldiers on every Iranian nuclear, every Iranian power station, every Iranian bridge. You kill your own soldiers. Tell Mr. Trump to tell that to your nation. You think came in from your power? It came because you got demolished. 173 American elite Delta Force are sitting on the bridges in Iran. We are feeding them like a dog, with respect. Bomb it. Don't sit and believe. My job is to open your eyes, Americans, how far you are from the truth and why this thing is going to drag on. You ask yourself a simple question. We bombed two crafts which were there not to think go to the hand. You bombed your own people because they were injured. You didn't want any of them to survive. That they tell how idiotic the whole thing was. They didn't destroy your aircrafts on the ground. They killed your own soldiers that there's none of them left. But beforehand, the Iranians got 170 out of them. Now you know why you have a peace. Why you have a... We don't attack. Please come and attack every bridge on Iran. You kill an American. Plus the others. They're sitting literally in the cages, ready to be killed by your own. Touch more. Peace talk has to be peace talk. No condition. Why the Strait of Hormuz Americans are running away? They're sitting there far distance. Iran is shipping in and out. Do you know why? 3 of your submarines, 2 are under the water. Nobody knows where they are. They got blown to pieces. 2 of your huge supplies are under the water. They've gone 2,500 beyond the range of Iranian missiles. That's what they're. That's why Iranians suddenly start shipping about 20 ships in the past 2 days out of the Strait of Hormuz. They give you wrong information. Now you know a bit of the truth. The biggest navy doesn't run out into the Indian Ocean. You lost 3,000 soldiers on 2 naval ships. Have you heard about it in America? No. Is it propaganda? No. Do you want us to release the pictures of your 173 in elite Delta Force which are alive? It will be done soon. Peace through American structure comes because he knows he lost the biggest losses ever in American history, and he had to bomb his own planes with the American soldiers in it. Simple question. Look at the picture, satellite, see where the 2 American sea flights are. Can any aircraft run in less than half a kilometer on a runway, which are 2 dead ones on the floor plus helicopters? And these planes didn't come empty. They came with the latest, the best America had. Then you see what the truth is, and you see why you're running begging for peace. Trump, on a number of occasions, he went even to the Saudis, begged the Iranians to accept peace. Israelis don't have any nuclear war heads because they're all dumped. By law, you cannot carry nuclear warheads in a third country. So all had to be in Israel. All the F-35 adapters for dropping nuclear bombs are gone. So Israeli kind of asked the Americans to nuke Iran. If you have it yourself, you would have done it by now. Trump asked from your chief of defense to be given the quote he wants to nuke Iran after the soldiers were killed. And they said, no, it's your problem, not ours. You think you didn't consider nuking Iran? He asked from your national security for the code. It was refused because you lost over 400 soldiers in less than 30 minutes on the ground. Elite of elite you trained for years. The ones who went and brought Venezuela as president. Now you will see them. You see Doug Cage in Iran and the Americans sitting in it, getting fed with respect. It's just there as a security. Come on, Bob. We haven't taken hostages. We've taken intruders. They came to kill us. We have a right. When somebody comes to murder you in your house, by American law, you have a gun, you protect your family. We have a decency, we haven't killed them yet. But they're there for your president to kill, if he wants to do. Put all of them, 3 or 4 at a time, on the television for every bomb on Iran, one American soldier. See if they make it theirs to move. Now you know why there is a peace and I extend it. You don't extend it, you're just lying to your nation. You're on the leash. Any other question?
All right, thank you. You see here. Well, the next comment happens to be from Anonymous, who says, I love your sense of humor, Mr. Keshe, in spite of the gravity of what you were just talking about. From Daniela, I'm not sure if this will be clear or not. This is Mithra the balloon. Does that make sense?
Mitra is not a balloon. It's just what we were discussing with the balloon. Mitra is not a balloon. It's a symbolic essence of the expansion of the fields of the Creator. It is a sign of creation. God didn't just love Earth for it to have creatures. Love created life across the span of the universe, unicos. So his love is not limited to his special child. A man likes to think as he thought he's king of the animals. Now he's the favorite choice of what they call it, the chosen one. They're one of many to manifest his beauty. Sorry about this, I have to tell you the joke. They say they are chosen when the Jewish people, they're chosen to murder, they're chosen to be the largest animal nation on earth, they're chosen to be the biggest murderer of children, and they're the chosen one, yes. We agree. We have decided we agree with them as the chosen murderers, yes. Chosen destructors, yes. Chosen human, no. Humans don't do things like this.
Chosen for what not to do.
Or chosen to be the most animal creatures on the earth. Even animals don't do what these people do. Chosen to be.
So in that sense, Mr. Keshe, I have this kind of pondering question regarding, you had a comment earlier about the connection to the soul of the Creator. And so as we attempt to connect to the Creator, we are going toward the source.
I tell you, you know the chosen one? They're the chosen one to be disconnected from the Creator.
Okay, well, that's the thing is...
it's a choice.
But don't we have that choice every day in a way, in the way we interact with the physicality world? In the sense that, yeah, well, that's the thing. We can choose manifestation of the physicality, or we can choose to go toward the source, it seems. And so to connect to the soul of the Creator, we attempt to connect with the source. But if we want to manifest something, to actually have something in the physicality, or manifest even ourselves in the physicality, isn't that actually in the opposite direction in a way?
Not really. You have a choice. This is the key. You have the choice. You choose.
Isn't it the choice between manifesting and not manifesting, though?
It's a choice between position, receiving and not receiving. You call it love. There is nothing greater than love of the Creator.
So in that sense, why would we choose anything less? Anything less would be part of the physical manifestation.
That's a freedom. That's you choose. That's the freedom of life anywhere in the universe. You choose.
So there's many levels. Of
course, many distances.
Say. Yes,
you see,
right.
You can be the mirror which receives the first light. You're the origin. Or you can put mirrors and reflect it, all fake and distance. You choose. Is the choice, the freedom is with the man. Or any creatures. And this is what it is. We choose. Choice is there. It's another dimension of emotion. Intention is another dimension. All products are the products. You have the mass, you have the weight, you have the gravity, you have the condition of weightlessness. It's all the same object, is in different condition. You choose the condition. You choose the environment. Nothing has forced us. We decide. And that's the beauty of life in the universe. Let's call it a day. I have to go attend the meeting. It's nearly gonna see us. We've been batted. Thank you very much for today. I hope we have no more chosen ones amongst us very soon. We all become equal. And I hope we find peace in ourselves, and then somewhere they'll find peace within themselves. Thank you very much for today, and see you next week.
All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. If anybody has any remaining questions, there might be a couple left. I know Stefania had one there. You can bring it over till next week, and you can look at it then. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Keshe, and thank you, everybody, for attending today's 639th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Let me see our next public teaching workshop. Let me get the calendar out here, and it looks like that'll be on Tuesday, the 28th, with the, let me see, I think it's the 428th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, with members and support members of the Universal Council. And that program starts at the 4 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And it's open to members of the public who would like to attend and learn more about the soul-based side and the work of the Universal Council. You see, I have something to share from Lissy here once again, so let me just get that downloaded, and I will find, there it is. I'll have to get one of the members of the Universal Council to read these out maybe next time. In any case, here's the message from Universal Council through Lissy, who says, We, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present on the earth in unifying at the soul level every time, every day at 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time. We, the Universal Council, give freely from our souls and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader in every nation to work as one soul in one direction to achieve peace as one nation, one planet, one race. Okay, thank you, Lissy, for that. And thank you to the Universal Council for all the work they do in the background to support the work of the Keshe Foundation and to work toward that connection with the Universal family. Okay, I think that's it for now. And once again, thanks to everyone for attending. We'll go out with our usual flight enhancement spaceship unit. And bye for now. See you in another public teaching, perhaps.